much for having me today. I'm so excited.
I am too.
When I contacted you, I knew that I had such an incredible experience because you had done a fabulous treatment on me before my wedding.
It was an honor to be able to do it.
Oh my gosh. And then, you know, I was so excited when you accepted the wedding invitation because I know it's like I'd only worked with you one time, but kind of jumping right into it, you know, we had talked during that procedure, that time, and about your personal experience with bariatric surgery. So I just thank you so much for willing to, you know, put yourself out there and, you know, kind of address a lot of the unspoken topics, not only the idea of bariatric surgery and post-op recovery care and lifestyle, but elements after surgery that we don't consider, such as skincare outside of just maybe loose skin and cosmetic procedures. So I kind of wanted to, you know, kind of talk a little bit about, you know, your history and your story and, you know, how
I want to say, I wish I had somebody like you that is offering what you do. It would have been amazing to have somebody walk me through the journey. It was such a lonely experience, and one that I had no idea of anybody else that had ever gone through the surgery. I did have to go through some pre-op counseling and met a few people in that time that we were going through the same thing, so we could share, but not somebody who had been through it. And the nuances, I think I watched one day, you were showing a cup size amount, real mini cup size amount of, hey, you know, the first couple months, this is what you want to be eating. And I thought, man, that would have been so amazing to have had. So I just commend you for your willingness to be so open and honest about something that I think is, we hide. We're hoping people aren't noticing how we've chose to try to hide ourselves through food or whatever your vice is. But mine was through food. I went through a breakup with somebody that I loved dearly and that was very good to me, but I knew it wasn't the right one. And so it really kind of sent me into a trajectory of a depression, and I used food to kind of move through that. And I wasn't willing to date at the time, and so it was a way to kind of keep everybody out. And I did a good job of it. I'll show you. I brought a couple pictures for you. Excited. Yeah, I'm not, but I'm willing to share them with you. So this was at my heaviest, and I was about 250 at this point.
Wow, what a change.
And even in my makeup, you know, in my hair, everything was to kind of draw away from my weight at this point. And I was very depressed and unhappy and ready to do something about it. Of course, I was scared, but long story short, I went ahead and took the leap and found somebody who did this surgery back in the time that I did it. It was about 2003, and I had to do, I did full open belly. So I have a nice big incision line.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and so one of the things as I was going through the process of losing weight quickly and rapidly, I immediately saw my skin change. I was very dulled out. I was very sallow. I was just masking with makeup instead of really kind of doing anything healthy on the inside. I also wasn't adhering to the supplements that I should have been using. I was young and I was like, I feel good. What's it matter? You know, I don't care. And it caught up to me. So I'm about 15 years out of that, and it's caught up to me. I've had to do IV iron infusions because I didn't take the iron that I was supposed to. I've learned along the way what supplements work for me, how to take them, when to take them. and to care for my skin, which is
wow.
a big deal as you're going through this. You're starting to look good on the outside. You want to take care of yourself on the inside too. It's going to show in your skin, in your body, in recovery. It's something that I think is really important and untouched on.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And I think you and I have both experienced working with clients who are bariatric. Oftentimes how detrimental it can be when someone is not privy to that information, and you end up leading a life that's very full of confusion. And so that can mean ultimately leaving things left untended to. And I think as women, things like skincare, things like even hair care,
absolutely, very important.
We tend to look at them as a luxury expense.
That's right.
You don't have to work in the health and beauty industry to put yourself behind the scenes.
Absolutely.
We do that to ourselves. Our self-care, ends up on the back burner. And when I say that it truly takes a certain amount of bravery to come forward and not be looked at as another person who took the easy way out.
And I heard that a lot.
Gosh,
and
tell me about
boy,
that.
is that the opposite of what we go through. This is not the easy way out. And I think maybe some people that are going into this journey think that way. It is the farthest from the truth. For most people, a real psychological, spiritual process that they have to finally get to where they believe they deserve to do this. And for me, I spent a lot of time trying to work out and trying to eat different and trying to do the right things. And after a period of time of doing that, I had hurt my knees. I was so heavy, I shouldn't have been. I was running and doing things that I didn't know better. And so I think once I really got to the place where I felt like, I let go of all the naysayers that this is the easy way out. And I thought, whatever. I knew once I got into that place where I was going to have surgery, all of the steps that I had to go through emotionally, physically, financially. And so,
That part,
so I think it's important to get to a place where you're okay with going through this journey, even if it means other people are naysayers.
Right, absolutely.
And the aftercare is very difficult too. Learning what you're going to need to eat, what you're going to need to do for exercise. I mean, it is a complete lifestyle overhaul. So, I find that very offensive when people say it's the easy way out.
Absolutely.
I don't think that is true at all.
Yeah.
I think it's a real commitment.
Absolutely. That's such a disservice to us.
I agree.
Because this isn't something as simple as getting maybe your appendix removed, one and done, and it really doesn't make that big of a difference.
It's a real process.
For the rest of your life,
Yes.
you are altered and forever changed.
I agree. And I think it's interesting that it isn't just that you're changed, but the people around you, they're either going to come alongside you, or oftentimes your subscribers might find there's people that you've had in your life that no longer like who you've become. And it's not because you haven't become, a different person in the negative, but that you have more confidence in yourself. That can become a sticky place. I remember I was working at a salon doing hair when I had my surgery done, and I got a lot of flack from the girls in there. You're not as funny. You're not as animated. You're different.
Wow.
I was different. I had gone through a very difficult time in my life. I was very depressed, and I was a chrysalis, and I was becoming a butterfly. I was becoming a different person.
Absolutely.
I was starting over. I was
Yes.
starting from scratch. I think you said that, and that is so true. And you kind of get to write your own story, which is incredibly beautiful and amazing.
Right.
It's not going to be easy for everybody you're around. They've gotten used to you being that certain, maybe fat fun girl, or the girl that doesn't get a lot of attention, but you take her with you. And
Warm body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so when you're starting to kind of come into your own, it can be hard for other people, and it can be hard for yourself. I remember I was getting attention from men that I normally didn't, and it was off-putting. I had to get to a place, you have to get to a place where you feel comfortable in how you navigate this new found body.
Yes. I was 25 when I had my sleeve procedure, and I never took into account that I had lived at least 15 years struggling with obesity prior to that. As a child, I was obese. And this idea that we're going to up and get over it within a matter of months is absolute nonsense. And I appreciate you learning to listen to your inner voice rather than the static voices, the white noise of everyone around you, and really kind of honing in on what your intentions are for your future. And I think, again, that just takes an amount of courage.
And it's important to note that even this far out in my journey, I still struggle. I still have this set thing in my mind that if I gain over 8 pounds, I have this immediate, I'm going to gain this all back.
Hysterical.
I still have that, yes. I've had to learn to give myself 8 pounds. Go ahead, have some fluctuation, because it's still, today, this morning, I got on the scale and I'm like, okay, you're there. You need to back it up now. And you still in your mind have this I'm a big girl thoughts. When I go and buy things, my family will say, that's too big for you.
Same.
You have to break that cycle of thought. And it's still, even to this day, happening.
As a clinical esthetician, you see so many different types of skin types, and so many different types of personalities that come through that door. And everyone's story is different. Everyone's unique as a thumbprint. And so, just speaking to the bariatric community, I know we've talked about you've had experience with certain clients. Where do you think that we might be kind of missing out when it comes to taking care of our skin?
I think it's important that you start really taking care of your skin as soon as you possibly can. So hydration, good eating habits, but finding somebody in your area, an esthetician that you can work hand in hand with, because we are all so different. Each of our skin types are different, but as you're going through this bariatric process afterwards, your skin is losing elasticity, you're gaining, you're losing, and you want somebody that really understands how to keep you hydrated is the most important, and what products to use, hyaluronic acids. I have a CBD oil that I think is amazing for our scarring as we're healing. There's treatments that can help tighten up the skin. There's a cavitation machine that can help with specific areas of weight loss, that you're stubborn areas. So getting with somebody who really can kind of handhold you through the process of just like you would with anything else. You want to get with somebody who is understanding the process of what's happening with your skin.
I am so excited to get started.
Well, let's get to it.
Alrighty.
All right.